Thank you for joining me on another episode of the Beyond Business podcast. Today, I am excited to introduce my guest, Alisa Sparks. She is founder and CEO of Linden Creek, where she's built a company rooted in purpose, leadership, and a long-term vision. Her journey is one of grit, growth, and doing business the right way, especially when it comes to people, culture, and impact. We're going to dive into her story, the lessons she's learned along the way, and what it really takes to build something meaningful without losing yourself in the process. Alisa, thank you for being here and welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me.
For sure.
Excited to be here.
Yeah, this is cool. I think this is one of the cool parts is just being able to connect with people I otherwise wouldn't have the opportunity to do so and just dive into people's journeys. So let's start with where's home?
Home is Raleigh, North Carolina.
Okay.
I have been here for about 8 years now, but it is home through and through.
Okay. All right. Do you have a family, you have kids and all that good stuff?
Yes. So I have a husband, and 2 children and 2 bonus children, I call them. So we've got a family of 4 kiddos. We're a blended family and absolutely love it.
Okay. Oh, so you just got done with a pretty exciting, couple days or week or whatever. Because
Yes.
Christmas is officially done.
Christmas is officially done. Santa came, did his thing.
Okay.
It was a great day in the Sparks household.
That's great. That's usually all it counts. So are you a resolution maker, or do you believe in that? Or some people look at it as a key time to key in. Some people look at it as like amateur hour. I don't know.
I am not a resolution maker. I have nothing against it. I just love setting goals for myself, period. So it tends to be a year-round occasion, and I don't hold out until January 1st to go ahead and build those.
Right.
But I do love the intentionality and the thought process that it forces us all to sort of pause and reflect on what we have accomplished and where we want to go next. I think there's something really beautiful about that.
Sure. I actually tried to, just for a change, I'm the same as you, as I can't say I don't procrastinate because that'd be a huge lie. But for certain things, it's when it comes to whether it's habits or health or whatever, putting it off, I think is ridiculous. And so I'm one that just goes, let's go. Well, this is the first year that I kind of started a little group amongst the people that follow me and go, if you need a reason, and just to be a jerk, we started it like 75-day hard challenge. Like we started it today.
Yes.
To where I'm like, well, I'm not going to let you get New Year's in. Like we're starting today. So again, more than anything, I think, having someone hold you accountable if you're not used to that is something else. Like I live for that. I kind of include people in my life just to be accountable, and they don't even realize it, I don't think.
There is something when you audibilize it and say it, like now you feel like you have to fulfill, even if they don't realize they're part of that. It's very important.
Yeah.
I heard a statistic actually this morning about New Year's resolutions, and they said only 9% of people actually fulfill their New Year's resolution and keep it 12 months later. So it'll be interesting to see now that you have this accountability. I bet that number is so much higher.
Well, and I think the only thing that makes it reasonable is going, March 13th. You can go have a cocktail and a pizza on March 13th if you need that. You know what I mean? Like,
yes,
I'm one of them that I'll probably do exactly that and then jump right back on it with, you know what I mean? Just like whatever. I kind of like torturing myself.
Is this your first time doing the 75?
No. Well, okay. So this specifically, yeah, I've done a few like 90-day challenges with just like fitness and sobriety and, just just the challenge. So this was just something that was kind of brought to me and I go, okay, I've done a version and I'm okay with reading a little bit. So I did have to, I'm an Audible book guy. So I have a lot of books though. So it was like, for me to sit down earlier and read, even though it's just 10 pages, it was like, it took me like 15 minutes for my brain to connect to this page. Like I read the first page 20 times and I'm going, okay, my phone is not in the room. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So it's almost weird, but that means I need it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's going to be great. I love
Yeah,
it.
it's cool. But yeah, you went to where'd you go to high school at? What part of the world or the country or
I went in the Midwest.
okay.
So grew up around all the snow.
All right, that's where I'm at
Yes.
now. I'm in Illinois. That's what home is for
Oh,
me.
okay.
Yeah.
Minnesota.
Oh, Skull. I'm a
Yes, that's
Vikings
correct.
fan. Yeah. Okay, so what kind of a student were you in high school? Were you, there's different, there's nerds, there's jocks, there's whatever, some of everything. Where'd you fall in?
Yeah, I probably fell a little bit more into the nerd, heavy on the academics. Like,
Okay.
was the 4.0 straight A overachiever in the classroom, as embarrassing as that is, which is a little bizarre for an entrepreneur. They say like those are the ones that get C's, and then they
This is
test the
true.
boundaries. I break that mold. I got all the A's, did everything I was supposed to do, and still decided to start my own business. But it's worked.
Well, so when you got you went to college, obviously.
I did,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah, yeah. That's kind of, I think, what comes with I have a 15-year-old son who is he's you. He is, and I don't even know how to guide him because it's like I'm not pro college, but you have to go. You're like super smart. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. So I can relate. And I think it's really cool. And it can absolutely come full circle. But so do you think, did you know that you were going to be an entrepreneur? I mean, when you were in college, was that something that you fall into, you
No.
grow into? Because now they have classes at these universities that is
Yeah.
entrepreneurship. Like I'm a mentor
Yeah.
at our local university for a group of freshmen that they're there to see if they want to be entrepreneurs. And it's like, well, that's freaking brilliant. You could decide right
Yes.
now if this shit's cut out for you or not. You know what I mean?
I love that. I love that. Yeah, and
Yeah.
I will say, like, my take on college now is a little bit different. My kids, I've got one that really wants to be an entrepreneur, and I'm like, just don't go to college then. And I've got another one that loves academics, and I'm like, but is it necessary? We'll see. But yeah, my journey and my story. I was a numbers girl through and through. So I loved math. I could geek out on an Excel spreadsheet for hours. Like that was
Okay.
fun for me. So finance background. I provided military finance for years was my career. Almost a decade. I was supporting the Department of Defense
So when you say
for
military finance, you're like the
yeah.
bank for the military kind
Yes.
of? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So every year the Navy and the Marine Corps would receive funds for specific aircraft. And it was my job to write the checks, essentially,
Oh,
decide where the money was going to go, make sure it was within all the appropriations that it was allotted for, make sure it was what was really needed, all of those things. And so we managed the budgets for them for, again, almost a decade. And I enjoyed the numbers side of it. I enjoyed the systems of the military. And the way that they operated in a lot of ways. But I had this creative itch. And I think I was at the gym one day listening to Rich Dad Poor Dad. It's a classic.
love it.
And
It's
and
favorite.
it was that conversation of maybe I don't actually want to be a W-2 employee forever. Maybe I need to think about entrepreneurship. That was never a thing in anybody in my family. No one that I knew owned their own business. It was a very scary concept.
Oh, so you didn't learn it at the kitchen table. That was going to be one of my questions is a lot of people think you're either born or you're not. And it was kind of recently introduced to me like the conversations you have when your kids are young, are different. Like my conversations are different. My
Yes.
parents' conversations were like, don't talk about work. We hate it. It's over for today. You know what I mean? Like,
Yes, yes.
yeah,
Yeah. And now, I mean, gosh, you sit at my dinner table and we are all talking about business a lot of the times, or
yeah,
strategies or partnerships, or hey,
yeah.
how's your selling jewelry at school going? Let's talk about
Right.
profitability.
It's so valuable even for the ones that can't contribute to the conversation yet.
Yeah.
Like that
Yes.
part is the part, you know what I mean? Of just going, okay,
Yes.
okay, yeah. Okay, I didn't mean to
Yeah.
cut you off. I just had
No,
a, yeah.
no, that's fine.
I
So
do
yeah,
have a
Rich Dad.
question about your
Yeah.
contract you said you were 10 years and you were doing financing for the
Yeah.
arm. So if like war happens, that
Yeah.
budget changes a lot, right? I
It
mean, is that
does.
you are part of that, right? To where if there's
That's
a
correct.
demand for blowing shit up, then
Then we get more money and we gotta spend the money
put
to
it
blow shit
where.
up. Yep.
Okay, okay, all right. Well,
Yes.
yeah, that would be. I mean, it wouldn't just be all the same. It kind of is dependent on what's happening. right?
It's dependent on what's happening there. And it's interesting. It's this balance of like there's just maintenance that has to happen to these aircraft in order to keep them flying and keep them safe. But there's new technology that's coming. And so it's weighing the
Sure.
pros and cons of I worked for several years on one aircraft that retired during the time that I was there. It was 46 years old. The aircraft was by the time it retired its program,
Okay.
and you're deciding how many more of these like cool new tech things do we invest the money into to make sure that everybody is safe, to make sure that it's flying at its optimal ability versus it's going to sundown and we're going to bring in this fancy new helicopter to replace it. And so it's weighing pros and cons and in the decision making of all of that as well.
Okay, so you definitely are going to be aware of this, and I don't want a. I'm not getting on the political shit. I don't even like talking
Sure.
about that. However, did you? I mean, we're aware that Trump is like we're building the biggest, baddest, but like this is an off the cuff decision, or this is something that probably, or is it just he's doing Trump shit and he's like, eh? Or is that? I would
I
assume that would have to have been in the works for the last 10 years in order for him to go. We're building the biggest, baddest boat, and we're just going to cruise it around to show people that we'll blow some stuff up if we need
Yeah.
to. It is like,
Yeah, I mean, a lot of those
what?
things really have to be in the works, especially when it comes to the government. There are contracts that have to be signed and massive approval processes before they can ever get in front of the government to say yes or
Okay.
no. So lots
He's
of
just
things
the
are in the
wrong,
works,
some
but
people, for some people, he's
he's
the
the one
wrong
that
person
likes
to
to say
deliver it.
yes to all of
Yeah.
this. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. He's like, we're going to
Yes.
call it Trump. Right. Oh Lord. But no,
Yes.
anyways, but when you said that, yeah, it was like, well, there's a lot goes into the military. I mean, the little wars are really expensive. I mean, on our,
Yes.
even though we don't know most of the time what the hell's even going on, it's still like, huh? Um, okay, so sorry again. That's just how I roll.
No, love it.
Um, okay, so fast forward, you're in college, you're at the gym, you read Rich Pad Poor Dad, reading it, listening to it, whatever. Something strikes that maybe there's something other than a good job to chase. Maybe I could employ people. Maybe I could do whatever I want and have all the off days I want. Like that's not how it works at all, right?
That's exactly not how it works. Right.
Right, right.
Um,
I
yeah,
could
but
take
there was
all the
this
days off. No, you can
so
never
much time
have
off.
days off.
Never, never.
So,
No. But yeah, I mean that's it. That's really what it was is, hey, maybe there's something that I can do and build on my own. And it was a scary thought. And so I thought, let me keep my job with the Navy. And I would take PTO on Fridays and knock as many doors as I could of builders and real estate agents in my area and just was like, hey, I'm out here. I
so let's
provide this staging
tell me
service.
what
Yeah.
this. Yeah, let's break down what it
Yeah.
is you do because this you have just took it from this idea to now. Are you franchised and everything?
We
Is
are
okay.
franchised.
I thought so.
Yes.
So
Yep.
let's explain what it is that you stumbled upon. That is a pretty great idea. I feel like it's an
Yes.
idea, like it was your idea.
I mean, there are other businesses that do
Okay.
this too. It's very new to the franchising space. I will say that.
Okay. I never
But
heard of it
we,
in general, so it was like, oh, sweet. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So we are a home staging and interior design business. Essentially, what it came down to is when I had my regular job for the Navy and the Marine Corps, I would buy ugly houses and renovate them in my free time because I just was antsy and wanted something fun to do in real estate. And the feedback I got one listing was that the staging was really good, but it wasn't staged. It was just my furniture. I loved interior design, but didn't have the degree, and so I figured I could never be an interior designer. That was my belief at the time. And so I thought maybe I could stage houses. And so home staging, for those that don't know, is essentially coming into a completely empty house. You move out, you kind of move on to the next phase in your life, and we come in and we furnish and set up the home in a really beautiful way. And it's a lot more than just decorating. With staging, it really is there to be a marketing tool because what we found is houses sell faster and they can sell for 1 to 5% more when they are actually staged. And so there's a really impressive ROI that happens to homeowners when they're staging their empty properties.
Uh,
And so I started Linden Creek with specifically just home staging. And then from there, it grew really organically into, hey, can you help my forever home look beautiful? And so we expanded into interior design without the degree. So again, college is great, but not a requirement to do what you're really made to do. And we built an entire interior design um, side of
Right.
our business as well.
You if you went and had a degree, you're not it's not going to cut it anyway, right? In this, I mean,
Yep.
you have to that's it's what you do is almost like an art, right? I know I can't do what you do. You know what I mean? And I
Yep.
don't think you can learn I don't think I could go learn that to be able to look at something and go, "Okay, so your service is going you can it's not even necessarily an expense if it's something where what you're bringing is adding value that can get worked into the cost to where you're just going we're just helping the process."
We're helping the process. And what's really cool is we even partner with financial firms now that allow you to pay at closing. So you don't even have to pay anything up front, but you
Who's
get
your
your return on
customer?
investment at the
Real
closing
good
table.
is your customer good realtors or homeowners?
Our primary customer base are home builders and
Oh.
real estate agents.
Oh
So
yeah.
we do primarily work obviously with the homeowners. Most of the time, the homeowner is the one that's paying for the services, but we receive their contact information through our realtors and through our home builders.
Oh yeah, so someone puts up a spec home and you're coming, you
Yep.
rock it, and you go,
Yeah.
"Yep." And if you like all this stuff, you can actually have that too. Oh,
That's
it's
exactly
great.
right. That's exactly right. And so it's a
Oh.
really fun model. And it's interesting you say, like, that's creative. I could never do that. It's so common to think that in this industry. And I walked into this industry with a whole bunch of artistic, creative minds. And I came at it from my like business, finance, numbers brain. And so I don't look at design in a creative realm. I actually look at
Oh.
it more like a math equation. So I look at the size of a room and I go, hey, if we subtract 18 inches from each wall, my rug should be this big. And if my rug is this big, the furniture arrangement could be A, B, or C. And if it's C, then I need these things. And so everything
There's a
has a
formula.
next step. There's a formula to design.
Wow.
And that was the way I sort of taught myself as I studied other designers. And what's been really fun is I told you my husband and I are a blended family. Well, he joined Linden Creek about a year and a half ago now. Has zero interior design experience. When I met him and walked into his home, he had I mean, it was like every wall was covered in pictures of his children. It was like really horrible decor, really not good taste and style.
He's like, "I love
Um,
the bear rug."
and he's like, "This is fantastic," and I'm like, "That's really fantastic. I'm glad you're happy." And when he joined the company, he started running our home staging department initially. And I said, "Listen, I'm going to teach you." And he's like, "I don't do design." And I said, "I know, believe me, I know, but I'm going to teach you how to do this." And within about 3 months, he was able to review every single project that our team was putting out and would say, "Hey, scale's not to size on this art piece. We need to space this a little different. We need to make these adjustments here. There's a gap here," because
It's
there's
the
a
things.
formula behind the scenes that really plays
Ah,
into how things are done, which is why we decided to franchise because this can be taught.
okay. Yeah, you killed it because in my mind it was yeah, you have to know what paint colors and rug cushions and all the stuff, but you're going, yeah, you do, but this is what works in any space that's this size is this. And
That's
it's like,
exactly right.
huh,
And when you're in enough houses, I mean, we have now designed and staged hundreds of homes. And so when you're in enough of them, they all start to have similar patterns. Now, of course, there's some that have quirky nuances, but they all have repeatable patterns. And so you just keep doing the same thing over and over and you get the
sure.
muscle memory of knowing what to do.
Right. Okay. So, and this might be a dumb question, but I mean, you just have a
No,
warehouse full of a shit ton of couches or what?
we do. We
Do you
do.
really?
I think today, my location here in Raleigh, I think we own 84 sofas and 326 accent chairs.
Oh, this is for
Um,
real. You
this
have
is
to
for real.
bring,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
there's,
yeah.
oh, shit.
So and it's funny sometimes. So our warehouse location is 12,000 square feet to store all of our staging inventory for our location. But sometimes you walk through these aisles, and I'm like, you own sofas and chairs, obviously, but you also own um, lint the lint sheets that you put in little canisters so they can be cute in your laundry room.
Oh,
Like
yeah,
we
yeah, yeah,
own the
yeah,
amount of
yeah.
like fake artichokes I own that,
Oh,
what do you that
yeah.
need
You're
to go
talking
in a
table
kitchen,
sittings, lamps, freaking.
vases, lamps, artwork, you name it. Everything that makes a home, we have to
Right.
own and transport and store, and it's all part of our warehouse.
Oh, wow. Random art pieces, random just
Random,
stuff.
yes, sculptural
Yeah. Yeah. So what is it based?
items, you name it.
Is kind of you have to
Yes.
just do you take anyone's advice or are you going, no, you hired me because you need me to do this for you? Or do homeowners ever go, here's what I'm going for? Or is it usually you do your job because
So it's a little different. Yeah, it's a little different between staging and interior design. With interior design, like it's your home. So I want it to be a reflection of you. So let's
right,
talk about what you want. Let's talk about who
right,
you are, how your family works. With home staging, we take the opposite. Hey, you've got to trust us. And we don't just like put pretty things in because we think it's pretty. There's really this like marketing and science approach to it. So we think, who's going to buy this house? Is it a young family? Are they empty nesters? Because a family with two young children is going to actually decorate their home different than two individuals that just retired and don't have any kids at the house.
right.
They gravitate towards different colors. They like different styles of furniture. And so we think about all of those things. And then
Okay.
from there, we like to strip down anything that's going to feel very offensive to somebody. And I don't mean like, hey, this book was offensive. I mean like purple may be something that you don't like. And so we're not going to put purple in a home because
Right.
maybe 35% of all Americans don't like purple. And
Oh,
so
there's certain
we
colors that just go.
Correct. So we
Right.
really like to keep neutral colors in. We like to bring in blues because most people love blue.
Yeah.
And so we're strategic about our color palettes, but we also think about how a person is going to walk through a home. So we've staged some homes before where the feedback was like, the kitchen is really, really small. Well, I can't change the size of your kitchen, but I can make your living room and your dining room so beautiful and amazing that by the time you get to the kitchen, you forget that it's small. And
Right.
so we actually design and think about the assets of the home. We think about the pain points of the home, and we intentionally will design and make selections to really highlight the good and ignore the bad. And not that we're trying to mask the bad, but we want the homeowner to go, it's not as big of a deal as you think. We want you to understand the value of the property and what it really has to offer.
Well, and every property has its worst part.
Yes.
I mean, no
Yes.
matter what, whether it's small closets or small, one car garage or whatever, no garage or whatever. Um, so how long has this Linden Creek? How long ago did this start? Where that name? What's the name?
Yeah. I wanted a name that didn't sound kitschy and didn't say home staging in it. And so I
Right.
started doing research on other design related companies. And I noticed there was this theme around nature, like West Elm, Birch Lane. And I thought, maybe there's something to this tree thing. So I started researching trees. And I
This
landed
is
on
great. This is
the
great.
linden
Yeah.
tree. And the linden tree is known for its strength and longevity. They typically live at minimum 100 years. And I thought, if I'm going to build a business, I want something that's going to exude strength and have longevity. So that sounded really great. But like now that I've got this big, strong thing, I need something else that's going to give some serenity and some peace. And so that's where the creek and the tranquility comes from. And I put the two together. I think it's also a dairy farm. I've learned since somewhere out there in the world. But Linden Creek is really built for its strength and serenity.
That's great. I mean, it's great that you were like, wait, you guys are naming your stuff after trees. I'm going to come up with the best tree one.
I can have a tree. I got
Yeah,
a good
I
tree. I'll
got
pull one
this.
out.
Yeah, I'm not no maple. I got something better than that.
That's
That's
right.
funny. So at this point, are you predominantly still staging, just also doing interior design, or you're like, no, we are a mix. We do all that, no matter what.
We are a mix. 50% of our revenue now does come from interior design.
Okay.
And so we have dedicated departments for each that offer and serve in both. And we've got interior designers on staff that have far more experience than I do and create far more beautiful designs that I
Sure.
can and then I do. And so it's been really fun to, as part of building a business, bring in exceptional people to make your brand even better.
Well, and you can't have all suits as your strong suit. And I think it's
No.
really important to know where you're not. A matter of fact, that's what makes a good business owner 100% of the time is knowing where you're not good.
Yes.
You know,
Yes.
I mean,
Absolutely. And I think, there's always this thing in the back of my brain where I go, I need to just replace myself. Because if somebody else can do it, then that provides security for the brand and the business. If I get hit by a
Absolutely.
bus tomorrow, it can keep going
For
without me.
sure.
And so when you think about that, you go, well, what's the best replacement in this department, in this aspect? Let's find somebody that's even better than me. That's when I
Right.
know I've made that right hire.
Yes, yes, absolutely. Well, that's great. Well, and being that you didn't go to school for it, you got to get bumped up along the way in ways that people coming in and taking the job haven't experienced. So even though they might have the education that you don't have in certain things, yeah, I think what you're bringing to the table is the business ownership part of it is where you started and going, we have to be good and get better because this is a job.
That's exactly right.
I mean,
And
this is a living. Yeah.
it is. And what's interesting is, the design industry has been around for years. And as I started to branch into it and get to know others in the industry, one of the biggest things I learned is not most, a lot of business owners in home staging and interior design don't run a business like a business. They run it like a hobby or a passion because they're creatives, they're artists, and they want to build something
Right.
beautiful. And there's a danger in this because I watched, unfortunately, too many business owners that came in and then had to close their doors because they didn't make ends meet because they weren't making business decisions. They were making decisions with their heart or decisions
Yeah.
around their craft. And there's this interesting stat in the Home Staging Association, the Real Estate Staging Association, that says that only 50% of home stagers actually know what their gross profit is at the end of every year. 50% of them know whether or not they made money at the end of the year. That's it. And
What?
that to me was this statistic that blew my mind and made me so sad because I thought these are people that are talented. These are people that love what they do. And they are missing the fact that this is a business and should be
Right.
run as a business first and foremost. That creates beautiful designs. And so we've really taken this framework of Linton Creek as a business. We are a business model. We like to talk about profitability and P&Ls and cash flows and inventory. And those, again, the finance side of me gets to geek out on that. But
Right.
we happen to do it in this beautiful industry of design.
Well, and again, you're providing a product in a certain, like you're providing something valuable. But I do understand to go 50% of people don't even know where they're at when it's all said and done. That is crazy. But I'm kind of a numbers person too. So that's like the usually more important than anything to me. What are we
Yes.
talking here? Yeah, I can look at the
Yes.
last page first if I need to.
Yep.
So
That's exactly right.
I think I asked this, then I cut you off before you could answer. How long ago did you start this?
Started this 8 years ago. So 8 years ago, made the jump, decided let me see if this can stick and this can be a thing. And about 5 years into the business, had worked myself out of a job on accident. I just kept trying to replace myself, finding somebody that I could teach, train, coach. And 5 years in, I remember sitting on my couch. It was Memorial Weekend, and I looked at my week prior, just was reflecting on it. And I was like, I didn't do anything to move the needle, to contribute to my team in any way. And I looked at the week ahead and I was like, I could not show up any day next week and nothing would change. And I had this moment of like panic because I love working. I love working. I don't want to sit by the pool drinking margaritas every day.
Right.
And so I went, oh crap, what do I do? And how they don't need me. And as I was sort of panicking, I had a friend of mine that owned a franchise, and he said, have you thought about franchising? And at first, I thought, there's no way we can franchise a creative business. I can't coach and teach it. And then I paused and I went,
Wait a minute.
I taught it
It's
already. I
exactly what
taught
I
it.
do.
That's
Yeah.
exactly what I did. It's operating already through these systems that we generated. It is coachable and teachable because we did it. And so we slowly rolled out the franchise model. I tested it with my very first franchise owner for about a year. And I was like, tell me what you don't know. Tell me, where your pain points are. I want to learn everything that you need to know to be successful. And if it works, great. And after her initial 12 months, she had 3x'd what I did in my first year and didn't make nearly the mistakes that I made. And I thought, there's something to this. And
Yeah.
so at that point in time, we decided to bring it to market.
Listen, everyone, it's time to level up. I've been testing Dubby Energy, and this stuff hits different. Clean energy, zero crash, laser focused clarity, exactly what you need. Whether you're grinding, teaching, flying, or just trying to stay sharp through the day. Go to Dubby.gg and use my promo code BeyondBiz at checkout for 10% off your order. Try it for yourself and feel the difference. Dubby Energy. Focus up, lock in, get after it. Well, that is cool. What was the scariest part about quitting your job, your full-time job, and yeah, you being responsible for money being in the bank on Friday or Thursday, or however that works? Yeah. What was the scariest part? Yeah.
I think the scariest part is it's a combination. There's something I thought the scariest part was going to be betting on myself and going, I'm responsible for making money show up tomorrow or by Friday. I learned that there's something very secure and safe about betting on yourself because you have all the control in how hard you work. You have all the control in what you're doing to make that come to fruition. And so that wasn't so scary. I think the most terrifying part of it was we're in an industry where capital investments are necessary for growth. And we grew so rapidly that it was almost this dangerous thing of like, you just need all the cash in the world to reinvest back into your business. And so that was a scary piece of learning the balance of when to say yes and when to pull back and say no, so that you could continue to have this cash flowing asset that built and was going to withstand the test of time.
So you didn't go to school for business. You went to school for accounting. Is that right?
I went to school for finance. Yeah.
Okay. Because to come out and run a business is obviously the finance is a big part of it, but
sure, but it's only part of it. Yeah.
There's a whole lot. I suck at that part, but I do pretty good on the other side. So I just think that it's impressive to be able to take a leap, not being experienced as a business owner before. Because I think what you made a really valid point with going, there's a little bit of security in betting on yourself if you know that you bust your ass. You finally get what you're worth, but then you hit a point where now other people are expecting their Thursdays and Fridays to be great, and it's up to you. And that's a new pressure that, again, it kind of turns fun. You know what I mean? Once you're killing it, it turns fun. But there's some scary moments and going, we?
Yeah.
We are a team, but you're all counting on me. Shit.
Absolutely. I remember a couple years into the business, I pulled up to our warehouse and there were 5 or 6 cars in the parking lot and they were on my team. And I looked and it was this moment where you put your head down and you're just focused so hard, you forget to look up. And I stopped and I looked up and I went, all of their rent or their mortgage checks are solely dependent on me closing the sales that I'm supposed to be closing by the end of the month, and you have this moment of oh no, but it pushes you and it drives you even more to go, then I'm going to deliver. It's also the most
beautiful thing ever to see people get their little bonus or whatever. And you're like, hell yeah, you did it.
Yes. Yeah. Yes, absolutely.
So, what's the difference between a realtor who can go stage and, is that a thing? I would think that there would be realtors who would want I don't know, I guess you have to have the stuff.
You have to have the stuff. There are some that do a little bit of on the side. We actually even supported an agency that did a lot on the side, but they'd hit seasons where they're too busy, where they have too much going on. Staging a house is a business model, and 80% of the work is done before you ever walk into a home. It's the logistics and the operations of receiving products, sourcing, planning. And so their time is pulled away and from real estate if they stage their own property.
Where are you guys currently at besides North Carolina?
We are as far north as New Jersey and Pennsylvania. We've got several locations in North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, a couple locations in Florida, and most recently in Texas.
Oh, nothing in the Midwest yet, huh?
Nothing in the Midwest yet. We'll get there. But I remember when I started Linden Creek, all I could think is, I'm so glad I'm not doing this in Minnesota because the snow. I think I just feel bad for the ones that are going to do it in the snow. So we'll get there and they'll have all my love and support, but I won't envy them.
It snowed on Thanksgiving. Like we got snow on, we had a white Thanksgiving and a 70-degree Christmas. I'm like, what the hell is going on? Um,
Oh, yeah.
okay, so how many franchises do you have? And do you
Yeah,
work
we've got
anymore? Do you
I do
still?
still work. I don't stage anymore. So we
Okay.
have 20 locations across the country right now,
Dang.
scattered throughout. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. So I don't get the opportunity to stage or design any longer. My teams do that. I'll pop in and do site visits or coach and train sometimes. But my day to day is really involved in bigger business decision making. How can we support them? And how do we give them all the resources they need and then some? And then my team helps and supports as needed.
Right. So what's your goal? I don't even
My
care. Far, long, short. I don't know. I mean, do you plan on staying in
Yeah,
this for a while or?
I do. What's interesting, franchising is a totally different business model than staging
uh,
and
It's
design. So
that matter of fact, it has nothing to do with it, right? That's a whole
nothing to
different.
do with it.
Yeah, right,
Totally different business model, totally different way that they everything operates. But it's been a fun business to learn. But one of the things they've learned is a lot of franchises out there are just behemoths. You've got your Jimmy John's that's got like 8,000 locations and what
right,
have you. That will never be us.
sure,
We only fit in certain markets. We really like to sit in the luxury spaces. And so realistically, for us to go national, we'll probably have about 200 to 250 locations. And most of our franchise owners like to buy at least two franchise locations or territories. And so, with that being said, we'll probably have about 100 franchisees. And so, my goal is to have a boutique franchise model that is nationwide, that expands across 100 of us roughly, that can build community and grow our businesses together. One of the fun things about this is it's not like a restaurant where you like walk in the door and it's operating and then it stays that size. This is something that you can keep growing every single year, and your top line and bottom line revenue get to grow every single year. And
Oh, as
so,
someone who has a franchise, they can grow and grow
yes,
and grow.
yes,
Yeah, yeah,
yes,
yeah, yeah.
because you're not limited by a certain amount of space. If you want to own 10 houses of inventory or 50 houses of inventory, that's up to you. And so there's a lot of growth potential where you can sell and build and grow your business. And so I'm excited to just do this journey in an intimate way with these 100 other people, where we get to build something beautiful. We get to make an impact throughout the country, where these other individuals get to have this life and like in an industry that they love the way that I had the opportunity
Yeah.
to and do something different.
Yeah, it's really impressive. I mean, that's cool.
Thank
And
you.
it seems it's another one of those things that it seems absolutely required. You think about it, you know what I mean? It's like I don't, yeah, nobody wants to go look at an empty house and try to use your imagination. It's like, well, what did they do? How does their, yeah, yeah. So just being busy made you go from, or no, being so busy that you didn't have anything for yourself to do anymore. That's what led you to go,
That's what led me to
let's
go,
get
huh?
some of these then.
Yes.
So is it
Yeah.
a, do you have like a, I mean, I'm familiar with franchises, right? And I would think the hard part would be to go, you created a beautiful, name, what you guys are about, the product that the quality that you bring. How do you enforce that? Or is that a thing? Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
how do you make it so you can't just have the name and do a shit job. If you can't afford 50 couches, then you probably shouldn't buy the business. You know what I mean? Or is there a vetting like that?
Yeah, there's a massive vetting process that's involved. And I mean, I would say of the applicants that like make it to the final process, we're probably only saying yes to about 50% of them. We want to make sure that we've got somebody that financially is ready for a business that also has the potential to scale. So if you decide you want to put your foot on the gas and grow it more, are you going to have access to capital to be able to do so? So the finances are important. The other piece is I want other like minded people that just have crazy drive, that are like
Right.
excited to build, excited to own something. not that are like, oh, this will be a nice little passive, side business hustle. That's not what we're looking for. If we only get to do
Right.
this with 100 people, let's do this with other people that are
Want to
like-minded
grow.
in the respect that they like want to go and conquer. And so we look for some of those qualities and characteristics. The other thing is we really look for business professionals. We love people that come from a corporate background that are kind of done with their 9 to 5, that understood business and they know the fundamentals of building and scaling a team. They understand how to read and see a P&L. They know about efficiencies and SOPs and happen to be interested in design because I can teach you design, but the business fundamentals are harder to teach. And so if you have that experience that you're coming to the table with, it helps set you up for more success as a business owner.
Yeah. So the part that you would think would be the most difficult is like, you don't even need that.
Easy. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
you got the
Yeah.
hard stuff if you like to do this shit. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
exactly right.
Man, that's really cool. Well, good for you.
Thank
So,
you.
do you go and do you do other, is there another, are you doing this to eventually do something else too? Are you one of them? Are you like, no, I got my business and I'm focusing on it? Or is it like, kind of got a whole nother venture that I would like to get into? I'm just curious
Yeah.
if your
Yeah.
busy
I've got
mind has taken you anywhere else.
I mean, it definitely has. I mean, I've got this business and I love it, but as part of this business, my
When you say you
business,
have this business, you currently have one of the franchises?
I do,
Okay.
yeah, which is great. So I have the franchise, and then of course I own a franchise location, which
Right.
helps
Or I guess
me
that's
be in
what I
the day
meant,
to
a
day
location.
and do
Yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
testing. Yet,
Right.
but in addition to that, there were two things that I felt like were problems in the industry that I wanted to solve for to support the franchises. So one of them was software. There was this big gap where we had a separate CRM, a separate invoicing system, a separate inventory management system, and then like 17 Excel spreadsheets to keep up with day to day. And so I actually built a software platform that's an all-in-one resource for home stagers specifically that allows you to work on a project in a client from start to finish and automates a whole lot of the things in the middle to allow you to spend your time with your clients where it matters, not sitting behind a computer entering in data in Excel.
Awesome.
And so I think, to answer your question, like, are there other things? Yes, because I can't help but solve problems. And it's fun to now get to do it because there's a big enough impact we get to have in other people's lives. And it's not just for me.
Right.
And then we also have an e-commerce store to support all of our franchise partners as well, that allows us to sell furniture, art, rugs, decor.
Oh, perfect. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so we're having fun.
Yeah. Yeah. And I guess that's it. The more you are digging in, you're going, I mean, I don't have to go any further. There's more to this. And then there's
There's
more
more to
to
this.
this. And then, yeah, 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 yeah. That's really cool. Anyway, so when you go, like the store that or the location that the franchise that you currently have in North Carolina. So what area? When you say you get an area or you sell areas, how big are you? Is it mileage or is it a city or is it what is it? How do you
It's
decide those?
We do decide this. So it is based on the number of households. So we want a territory or a region to have at least 100,000 single family households. Most of ours have significantly more than that. And then with that 100,000 households, we want their average home value and average income, household income to be at certain levels.
Okay.
So there's a partner company we work with, and they give us really cool data. And so we'll say, hey, we've got somebody interested in the San Antonio, Texas region. And they'll map all of it out. They'll give us all the demographic information about who lives there, what their buying habits are, how many households are there, average home values, are they renters, are they owners? And we really look at it and go, this defines a successful franchise location. And so it should be including these zip codes. It should be this size and scale. That's really how we kind of determine where they can position themselves securely. And there are some regions we've looked at and we've said, that's great, but there's Montana, for example. We love Montana. Probably never going to have a Linden Creek unless it expands and explodes,
Right.
just
Right.
because of
Right.
its size
Right.
and scale.
It's just
So
got
yeah,
it's got a bunch of land. We don't need land,
it
right?
does.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
does.
So how much do you utilize AI?
All the time.
Yeah.
My
I
poor
figure now
team.
we're either here or we're not, and a lot of people I know are not, and I'm going, are you not paying attention to what's going on here?
It's amazing what it's capable of. And I think, my poor team, I'm like a broken record of like, okay, but how can we use AI? How can we use AI? How can we use AI? Because there is this like much larger level of how do we use it in our designs and how do we incorporate this? And there are still limitations there, but let's keep asking the question because one day that'll shift.
Yeah,
But in our day to day, in marketing, in sales, in content, in email writing,
everything.
whatever it may be, to build out automations, to build out AI agents that can support your day-to-day activities. It's a beautiful thing. And I've heard somebody say, it's not replacing people, it's taking your best people and allowing them to 10x their work, which is really what I feel like.
So
It's putting the tools in their place and go, now you're capable of 10 times more you ever would have been able to before
yeah.
this existed. And so we're having a lot of fun.
Oh,
Um,
I'm 5 times as valuable as I was a year ago because of Chat GPT. 100%.
yes,
You know what I
yes.
mean? As I take that my assistant with a PhD and everything, I fully utilize that. Like I'm going, oh yeah, this is too easy for me. Like, yeah. So
I
good
know.
that I mean,
Yeah.
it's just good to
Well,
hear. Yeah.
it is good. Well, and it's interesting. I was talking to my daughter the other night. She was working on some homework and she says, "Oh, I put in my essay question in Chat GPT." And I thought, it has reframed the way we now educate, we now do school, we do
Yeah.
homework because
Yeah.
ChatGPT is always going to be there to give you that answer and to
Yeah.
help support you through it. So it's going to be interesting to see the impact that it has across every industry over these, next 5, 10 years.
And
But in today's season, it's a beautiful thing.
there's a push and I mean I know it's happening here at the college that I'm aware of, but I'm sure it's some of everywhere and in high schools is the push is going, it's going to be hard for teachers and professors to be the ones, they're going to be the difficult ones, right? Because a
Yeah.
lot of them are set in their ways. You've been doing the same thing for 20, 30 years. It's a great way to do it, but if if they don't teach kids that they have to use AI in order to get to however they frame their homework assignments, it's a requirement to get to this next step is to use AI.
Mhm.
Like that's a must. If they don't do that, they're selling our kids so short. And you know what I'm saying? Because
Yes.
I always do say AI is not going to take our jobs, right? But I have a contracting company that my estimator is an AI agent now.
Yeah.
It was a $90,000 a year job.
Yep.
It cost me $200 a month. I mean,
Yep.
and it's way better than me or the dude who was my estimate. Like, it sucks. Like, yeah, you're not necessarily going to be out of a job, but it's like if you sat here and watched landlines go to smartphones and you watched emails come from snail
Mhm.
mail and you still go, oh, it's not going to affect us. It's like, no, but I'm telling you, it's definitely going to affect you. Yeah, I don't give a shit if you're a waitress or you own a laundry. I don't give a shit what you do. Everything can be better. And I think that's
Yeah.
it. The people who, if I didn't have anything going right now, if I did and I had time, I would without a doubt launch a uh, AI prompting company just
Yes.
because in a year when all these small businesses are going, well, we didn't do it. It's like, well, here, let me help you.
That's exactly right.
I mean, because you're still going to need the communicator in the middle. It's not magically going to happen, but
Right.
it's a
Well, and
cool.
the reality is, most business owners that already have these established businesses, they don't have the time to do the research to figure out the solutions to integrate. And
That's
so,
right.
if you can be the solution provider and say, "Hey, I'm going to dive into your business and help you
Yeah.
automate and integrate," it's a
That's
massive opportunity.
that's what same. I like tossed it around and I sat down with a couple people and did it. And it was just looking back at me being the one. And I'm like, no, I have the least amount of everything we need. Yeah. Yeah. I got the drive, but not the time, right? Yeah. So many
Yes.
directions. But um well, so what is it just a flat? Does it depend on anything or can I just ask? So how much is a franchise?
Yeah, so a franchise is a range of investments. So it's anywhere from about $200,000 to $600,000.
Okay.
The majority of that is you purchasing inventory, furniture,
Oh,
so that
part
you
of
can
that
have it to
is
put.
when you get done with this
Yeah.
purchase, you have the shit you need to roll.
You have a warehouse that you've paid for the 3 months. You
Oh,
have it fully stocked with pallet racking and furniture. And then our franchise fee is included in there, and that is $60,000 for a
yeah.
territory. So that is to like buy into the brand, to get the playbook, to have access to all of that. But the rest of your initial investment is really around furnishings. And one of the big advantages to working with Linden Creek is our furniture, we receive really competitive buying power because of the volume we're now
Yeah.
doing. And so you can buy into really good quality products for prices that you would not otherwise be able to get on your own. And that's something that gets us excited.
And what you just have to pay attention, like trends, I guess. I mean, because interior design
We
changes a lot, right?
It does. It changes very rapidly. So we provide educational seminars on industry experts. So we love to bring in, a Sherwin-Williams expert just to talk about paint sheens,
Mm-hmm.
or a cabinet company or counters, so that you're educated on that. But we also have in-house teams that help manage the product lines that you can offer, so that you're brand consistent, but also you're not, selling some crazy thing that's out of style now.
Yeah.
And so all of those things are sort of factored in to help make sure that you are on par with the brand and educated on who we are as a design look and feel.
Have you bought any competitors?
I have not bought any
Okay.
competitors. I've thought about it, I'll be honest, just because it's such a fun way to build your book of business.
Oh,
The
yeah.
biggest challenge in this instance is oftentimes in our industry, their inventory looks different than our inventory. And so finding somebody that has a similar look and feel
Oh, yeah.
sometimes can be a little bit challenging. And so we have not
You
found
would
the
be
right fit
doing
at
it
this point.
literally just to put them out of business would be the only.
Yeah, which
Yeah,
at
yeah,
that point,
yeah.
it doesn't
Right,
necessarily add a ton of value to us.
right,
So,
right,
yeah.
right, right. No, that's cool.
Yeah.
It's just an industry. Yeah, again, it's an industry I didn't even really know existed. But then once you think about it, once you see interior design, for sure, for sure,
Yeah.
people know they got these giant houses and they don't even know. They know what kind of couch they want, and that's it. It's like
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know how to make it look good. Yeah,
I know where the TV needs to be placed, then I'm good to
yeah,
go. You figure out the rest.
yeah, yeah. Well, that is yeah, it's really cool. So you're even when you're doing interior design or interior decorator, whatever, for like new homes, like say homeowners,
Yeah,
you're providing the stuff too.
we
Like you're
are.
like the curtains, they buying them from you. Oh,
That's exactly right. And so they'll purchase it all brand new. We will source it
sure.
all brand new, of course. But yes, every rugs, window treatments, furniture, accessories, artwork, you name it.
You're
And
showing up with a
so
box truck, just getting it.
we do. We kick them out
Okay.
of their house,
Hell yeah.
preferably, and
Yeah.
do the whole HGTV reveal where, like,
Do you
boom,
really?
here it is. Yes.
Oh,
And
perfect.
that
Yeah.
moment right there is like what makes it all worth it every time. I mean, the tears you see, the joy you see, all of those things, it makes every ounce of hard work and logistical headaches behind the scenes worth it.
Yeah. How cool. Yeah. Very
Yeah.
cool. Well, very cool. I don't know if there's anything. What's your? I guess. So, what's your? We'll follow you. What's your website or anything like
Yeah.
that?
Yeah.
I'll
Check us out.
plug anything that I have. I'll plug whenever we drop the episode. But I don't know if you're like, hey man, if you're a Chicago suburb person and you want to invest in a business, hit me up and let's figure out how to get to the Midwest. Or if you're like, no, we're not doing that right now, or I guess I don't know.
We are really looking to expand. So if you are in a region we haven't mentioned, or even some of the ones we have, we're looking to further solidify those locations. So yes, definitely, if this is something that excites you, if you are business minded and excited to geek out over business with us in an industry that's fun, we'd love to meet you. Yes,
But you're
yes.
one for
So
one.
we are, and that is who we are. We are like business nerds at the heart that just love the game of business. We love the game of community and relationship too. And so that's really what we're all about. So yeah, check us out at our website is linden-creek.com. And you can explore our services. You can also explore our franchising opportunities on there.
Miss Sparks. You're impressive, man. You've done cool things.
Well, thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Likewise.
Well, thank you for making it possible for us to connect. I'm super stoked to have this conversation. You're an impressive person doing cool things.
Likewise.
I will
Likewise. Thank you so much.
well, yeah, we'll plug all your stuff and yeah, I'll even keep tabs just because I like to do that with anybody who's like a guest that I meet. It's like now I at least want to make sure you're still doing good. You're either going to get better or worse. We're going to talk to you.
That's right. That's right.
Well, no, it was an absolute pleasure. Yeah, thanks for your time and thanks for your contribution just to my listeners. And I think you're one of the people who are just on fire and talking to you. It comes across someone who's excited about. I don't even know if it's a check as much as it's just a challenge that leads to success that makes you not have to stress on your checking account. You know what I mean?
Yep. Yep.
So
yep.
good for you. Good luck with your
Thank
kids
you.
and everything. And
Thank you. Likewise.
if I come that direction, I'll for sure check you guys out. But
I love
yeah,
that.
thank you. And thank you everyone for joining me on another episode of Beyond Business. We'll catch you next week. Until then, be kind to each other. Thank you. Hey, thanks again for joining me for this episode. Before you sign off, here's a quick word from the companies who make it possible for us to do this. Aerial Elite Solutions, when it comes to drone technology, no one does it better. From solar inspections to construction monitoring to telecom towers to wind turbine blades to real estate coverage to event showcasing, AES brings the sky to your side with unmatched quality, precision, and speed. Reach out to Aerial Elite Solutions at flyaes.com and see how they can elevate your business today. Midwest Lightning Rods. For nearly a century, they've been protecting homes, farms, and businesses from one of nature's most destructive forces. When lightning strikes, they make sure that you're covered the right way and the safe way. Contact MLR today at lightningstrikes-weprotect.com to see how you can become part of the community protected by MLR. Support local, trust the best. Aerial Elite Solutions, Midwest Lightning Rods. Excellence from the ground to the sky. Thank you again, and we'll catch you in 5 days. Until then, be kind to each other.
Yo, we on business. Yo, we out here hitting that grind. Podcast vibes, letting loose, unwind. Next on the mic, yeah, you flexing with pride. Meeting dope souls, taking you on the ride. Talking about life, not just that paper. Doing it big, ain't no time for a hater. People yap behind his back, but we rise like the sun. Gather around, fam, we just having some fun. Beyond business, it's a vibe, feel that thrill, getting intimate. May even get your heart filled. Meeting the legends, those raw and real. Digging deep thoughts, show you how to feel. From the block to the boardroom, we making that move. Beyond business, baby, yeah, we got the groove. Shout out to the hustlers, the real street thugs. We all eat together, no need for the shrugs. Yeah, you blessed with the gift, determined to thrive. Nick's breaking it down, keeping that fire alive. Let's go deep like the ocean, no bluff. Beyond business, baby, we can't get enough.